Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by. Before we get started, I do want to welcome our new subscribers and also take a moment and share some gratitude with those of you that are returning for this week's update. It's always a very pleasant day when I have you with me. But let's jump right in. This week's energy is it's a little bit of a reprieve of what we have been dealing with, although there's still some common themes that are moving about in the background. But the two big things we need to talk about this week is we have a full moon in Aquarius, and then Mercury is going to enter shadow for its retrograde season in the sign of Virgo. But let's talk about that full moon first. The full moon, again, is in Aquarius. It's the second of four super full moons, so closest to Earth, can be emotional, kind of over the top, should we say. And also with this being on the Aquarius Leo axis, it's really head versus heart, the dichotomy of those two. So Aquarian themes are, I am an individual, but I know how me as an individual fits into the collective as a group, right? Or my community. And Leo is standing alone and wanting to act alone, being very prideful, very confident in yourself. So you may find that this theme is popping up for you in your world of where your individualism or your mastery in a group setting and you wanting to just break out and be free. Now, as we mentioned, because this is a full moon in Aquarius, it is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is the planet of rebellion and freedom and shock and awe and, things popping up out of anywhere. And at the time, Uranus, at the time of this full moon, Uranus is square Venus. So there could be some instability relative to relationships or money that goes on at the time of this full moon. And as I mentioned, that yod we've spoken about with Venus at the apex, Neptune and Pluto quincunx energies, that's also playing in the background. So that theme is constant, as well as Pluto squaring the nodes of destiny. That's also playing in the background. So in addition to that, we have Saturn, which is retrograde in the sign of Pisces, is opposing Mercury in the sign of Virgo. So if Mercury in the sign of Virgo is all about mastery and or wisdom, embodied wisdom, this is a reality check moment that really tests your mastery, or it's asking you to take accountability for something that you may have said in the past that you felt was right at the time, but you need to kind of soften that. You need to take accountability for it. And that's also part of the mastery, right? It is part of the mastery. Again, it's an opposition. So Saturn and Pisces really is asking us, it's causing a pause, a restriction of some kind, or a reality coming right up into the sphere of knowing that tests that mastery or that embodied wisdom, which is Mercury in Virgo. So it's good for concentration. If you have a lot of detailed work that needs to get done, that was my day yesterday. I spent a solid 12 hours on some details that needed to be worked out, and it was a really good use of this energy, that's for sure. Now, at the time of this full moon, Jupiter is going to square the sun and the moon. So this tells me when Jupiter is a very benefic planet, so rarely does it have a downside, but when you've got it squaring this full moon, it speaks about excess, doing things to excess. Or overdoing something. You'll have to take a look at where Jupiter is in the sign of Taurus right now. So it's all about stability, maybe wanting stability to an excess that whatever the houses are that the sun and the moon are in, you're willing to compromise that for the purpose of stability and success. Just be mindful, because there is excess here. So it may be that you need to kind of back up or step back from whatever it is that is over the top for you. But Anyway, as I mentioned, Uranus rules Aquarius, and we've got that square with Venus. So the instability relative to relationships or money is there. But Uranus is trine Pluto at the same time. So any transformations or I would say adjustments, maybe is a better word, that need to be made are easily made. They're very easily made. You understand it, you're going to make that adjustment so it can create a little bit more stability and step away from instability. Now, another really good thing, I feel that this moon in itself, this full moon, is going to be extremely healing because the moon is conjunct Chariklo. Chariklo is an asteroid in the Kuiper Belt. Chariklo was the wife of our wounded healer, Chiron, and Chariklo herself is all about compassion and grace and healing. So anything that you let go of at the time of this full moon, you're going to be able to embrace healing at the same time that you let go of it. So I really like that a lot. As I mentioned, we've got the 3 lunations, or maybe I didn't. We have 3 lunations this month. It's a big month. So we've got this full moon at the beginning of the month. We've got a new moon mid-month in Leo. And then we have another full moon at the end of the month on the 30th, which, because there's 2 full moons in a month, it's going to be a blue moon. And that's going to be in Pisces. So we've got some big shifting energies coming on this month. But I do believe that this full supermoon in Aquarius, the 2nd to 4, is going to be very healing because of that Chariklo being conjunct the moon at the time, with all these other things going on as well. Now let's talk about Mercury. Mercury is going to enter shadow late Wednesday or Thursday, depending on where you live on the planet. Now Mercury is going to go retrograde on the 22nd, 23rd of this month, and then we'll be going direct mid-September and then completely out of shadow by the end of September. So what does this mean? Mercury in Virgo, as we spoke about, has to do with mastery, right? And embodied wisdom. So I really feel like this retrograde cycle, this Mercury retrograde cycle in the sign of Virgo, is going to help us understand our habits, Virgo habits, our words, our actions, including motivations and motivational force, the motivational force behind our actions and how we achieve mastery. You know, are you achieving healthy mastery or spinning your wheels on an old paradigm, an old outdated paradigm? Well, we're going to be looking at that a little bit more closely. Our mastery, our embodied wisdom, what we do to practice that on a regular basis. All that will be up for grabs this Mercury retrograde season. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I did have a card. I am using the Chris Ann deck, Light Seers deck. I do love this deck. And a card jumped right out, of course. And the card for this week is the Queen of Wands. I really like this energy. She's really fun. I love this card. So let's read what the book has to say. You are capable and fierce. It's time to root into your purpose and boldly step into the limelight of your life. The Queen of Wands radiates creativity and passion wherever she goes, and when she enters a room, her exuberant charisma and confidence are palpable. Don't be afraid to be the center of attention, and for Goddess' sake, stop acting small in order to make those around you more comfortable. Make sure fiery bursts of productivity are accompanied by laughter and gratitude, connection, appreciation, and love. It's okay to hold shadow in all of this light. Don't push it down so deeply that you can't find it again. Accept the parts of you that you don't openly share. The past failures that have held you back, they don't define you. So transmute that shadow. Sit with it briefly and then light it on fire because you don't need it anymore. I fill my world with intense light that connects and incites passions. Well, that's all I have for you this week. If you liked the video, please do click the like button. If you know someone that can be helped by this video, please do co-create with me and share the video with them. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, click the subscribe button. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please post them in the comment section below. I hope you have a fabulous week. Namaste.